Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. I am Herwan bin Kari, student of Bachelor of Management with honors, and my matrix number is 8607185257630001. In this video, I am going to deliver a persuasive speech entitled "Is the decisions to reopen school is reasonable?" So, ladies and gentlemen, the Minister of Education, Dr. Muhammad Razim Majidi, had announced the date for the first phase of the reopening of the school for the class that will take national examinations, specifically Form 5 and Form 6 students on June 24, 2020. Then, he announced the date for Phase 2, where the preschool pupils will continue their schooling sessions on the 1st of July 2020, and the latest news, he announced the date for the reopening of the school Phase 3, mainly for Year 5, Year 6, Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, and Form 4, that will be on 15th of July, while Year 1 until Year 4 will start to go to school on the 22nd of July. These decisions were based on the discussions between the Education Ministry, National Security Council, and the Health Ministry. As we all know, schools has been closed since 18 March 2020 onwards due to the outbreak of the pandemic virus COVID-19, known as novel coronavirus 2019. I am pretty sure you all know what that virus is. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said in his speech during the announcement of MCO on 16 March 2020, all nurseries, government and private schools, including boarding schools, international schools, Tahfiz centers, as well as primary, secondary, and pre-university education institutions will be closed. This also includes all public and private universities as well as vocational training centers. The school holiday was prolonged ever since. This is to ensure the safety of the pupil, as all citizens were instructed to stay at home in any conditions, and only the head of the family can go out to do errands during phase 1 of the movement control order MCO. As a result of these decisions, teachers, parents, and also the students themselves were surprised. Questions by questions were asked to the Minister of Education. What will happen to our kids if the school was closed? How are they going to sit for the examination? How will they continue their learning sessions? And if they still continue, my children will be left behind and they will not be able to complete the syllabus. Parents and teachers are afraid of their kids are not involved in any 21st century learning as they should have in school, as the school holiday will be ended on 24th March were prolonged. The Minister of Education then asked all teachers to start doing e-learning to replace the face-to-face interactions at school, be it by video call, WhatsApp, YouTube, Telegram, Zoom, Google Meet, and online quizzes. Teachers should not stop giving learning materials to students at home so that the learning is still ongoing to address the issues. This has been the stepping stone of the online learning in Malaysia, though it was already introduced a few years back. But the problem is, can everyone get the same e-learning opportunities at home? Do all parents know how to teach their children at home? How about parents that are illiterate? How are they going to teach their children at home? Can students learn in max capacity through online learning at home, the same as the face-to-face interactions at school? These are the questions that I'm going to use to answer the questions. Is the decisions to reopen school is reasonable? Let me answer those questions first, then we will decide, me and all of you, whether the reopening of the school is reasonable or not. Ladies and gentlemen, now As we all know, our country are in the process of moving forward with the communications and technology, as now 5G has been introduced to the country and some of the newly made phones or devices have been installed with 5G capabilities. If you think 4G is fast, then 5G is faster than 4G. 5G is like Usain Bolt of the internet race. But sadly, yet true, not all people can have a taste of good technologies, good phones, good devices, good internet connections, the 5G, and the ability to purchase internet data to access the internet. Why the people in city or town areas can have the access to learn online learning, nobody cares about the hardship that the suburban outskirt inland pupils that are suffered to get an access of online learning. There is not even a signal on their phone network at all. So, you tell me, how can they access the internet? Even though they have their phones with them, yet if there is no any mobile signal or hotspot nearby, then it is useless. Easy for the city people where mobile signal is full and hotspots are everywhere, but not for these people. Some storm had raged on the internet where the story of a young girl, a university student, stayed in a tree hut overnight just to get mobile signal to answer the online quiz through her own made video that went viral in the social medias. Can you see it? Did you get it? So now, do you think that the reopening of school is reasonable? Of course, yes, it is. In an article titled MCO as lesson move online, local teachers and students struggle with uneven internet access. When the Movement Control Order MCO started, school teacher Alex Rasidin said learning continued for his students through messaging services like WhatsApp and Telegram as well as Google Classroom. In one WhatsApp chat group for Form 3 pupils, there are only 11 students, said Alex, explaining that the rest, around 30, can't participate because they don't have phones. Another teacher, Muhammad Azwan Samsul Lazli, is using services like WhatsApp and Microsoft Teams to teach students from SMK Moratai Besar in Tawau, Sabah, now that he is back in Selangor. I have approximately 113 students and 4 sessions that involve live streaming. I can get up to 70 active participants. The rest don't join in due to lack of internet access or they don't have their own device, he said. Issues with the online learning and teaching process had caused students from the low-income group to be left behind, said the National Union of the Teaching Professions NUTP. Acknowledging that the Ministry Education's implementations of e-learning was a good move to carry out lessons, NUTP Secretary General Harry Tan, however, said turning to online learning has created problems for students from the B40 group as well as teachers in rural areas. Some of them also come from broken families, are orphans, or are special needs students, which makes things worse, he said. These students do not have internet, computer, printers, and electronic gadgets, so they get left behind in online learning. According to a study involving more than 670,000 parents and up to 900,000 students in Malaysia, 6% have personal computer, 5.76% have a tablet, 9% have a laptop, and 46% have a smartphone. More than one-third or 36.7% don't own a device. This was said by Education Minister Dr. Muhammad Razi Majidin in a press conference on April 15. Now, ladies and gentlemen, did you get that? Did you get the whole scenario? Now let us move on to the next questions. Do all parents know how to teach their children at home? Some of them might know how to teach their children at home, but how about those illiterate parents or parents that do not have much knowledge on the content itself? Yes, indeed, teachers do their job by sending words, YouTube links, instructions, and notes in WhatsApp, Telegram, and other platform. Yet the children still need some face-to-face guidance at home. If their parents are illiterate or have zero knowledge in using technologies or do not master chemistry, biology, or even English, have you ever thought of it? Have you? In an article titled "Kid Might Not Care Anymore, Parents Say as School Breaks Goes On," Yafis, who used to coach the Selangor State cycling team, urged the government to consider the effect that the extended break would have on children's long-term development. He also has the additional challenge of helping his older daughter who's studying in the Chinese school. It's really hard teaching her as I don't know how to help her in most subjects. I'm worried that she will be left behind in her studies if schools remain closed, he said. Ladies and gentlemen, now do you get the view? Not all parents can teach their children at home even when they're already trying hard to do it, yet they still cannot, as they think that teachers still do it best at school. Can students learn in max capacity through online learning at home the same as the face-to-face interactions at school? Obviously, if you are a parent, you will know how does it feels like to teach your kid at home while juggling with the housework and your own work too. If you are a working parent you yourself. Following the MCO announcements, the teacher's role had been switched to parents at home, or their siblings, or even their relative perhaps. So let me ask you, how does it feel to teach your children at home? Do they behave well? Or do they listen to you? Do they engage 100% in their online class? Or do you do your children's work on their behalf? You answer it yourself and reflect upon it. In a news article titled "Kids Might Not Care Anymore, Parents Say as School Break Goes On," Yazid, a father, said that learning at home is not as effective as face-to-face classes for his children as they easily lose focus. Rachel Che, whose son is in year 2, agreed that students would not be able to concentrate on their studies if they stayed at home. And Vivian Ho, who said she was strongly against any plan for schools to remain closed until next year, told FMT that children could get more studying done in classroom as they feel comfortable at home. Parents, children trying to use to online lesson. This is another article. For Mazna Moshidi, her nieces and nephews were having trouble focusing in their studies while interacting with their teachers online. It is really difficult for them to concentrate while online with their teachers. Most of the time, their mother or their father would sit next to them to ensure that they stay focused, she said. These are all from the parents' point of view toward their children's engagement in online learning classes at their home. So, ladies and gentlemen, after hearing those facts, experiences, and news article, what is your thought on this? Is the decisions to reopen school is reasonable? What do you think about that? For me personally, yes, it is reasonable. I will not talk about the reasons anymore because I already answered those questions like I said before. The answer to these questions are the sole reason why I think that the decisions to reopen the school is reasonable. So I hope that I will change your minds, change your perceptions about the issues on the reopening of the school. We do not have to worry as the Ministry of Education had already published the standardized guidelines to school due to the reopening of the school to ensure the safety of the pupils, teachers and staff and everyone in the school. So as long as they follow the guidelines, everyone will be safe. It is us that determine the safety of our own. we take care of us. So we need to stay on the procedures, we need to follow the procedures, then everyone will be safe. So you don't have to worry to send your kids, your children to the school. Okay, basically that's all for me. So I hope that my speech can help you to open your mind on these issues. I guess that's all from me, and thank you for hearing my speech. See you again.